Alrighty, let's get rolling. Don't have too much time to chit-chat so much these days, so I thought I'd quickly do this since it's a 1466. Being a 1466, I can kind of, well, I shouldn't say it, but kind of run on a half frame, but you watch, I'm probably going to get caught out on this one because that's what the universe likes to do. Anyway, we apparently got no mag safe, no nothing on this one, so we're just going to go straight for the board extraction. Given that it's a 1466, it's not unusual to get liquid damage here and there. Hey, Greg, Endgame, John, hey, House of Moth, Will Jacob. Not expecting many people to turn up today. It is Daystar time here in Australia. And Daystar time in Australia means nobody else is awake anywhere else in the world. It's a lonely time zone to be in. At least so far as English-speaking countries go. China and Japan and most of Asia is awake at this point now, doing their hard work. Alright, yeah, let's get these out. Come on, Paul, quickly. No dawdling today. Just had another 6 or 7 machines turn up, and then I've got another dozen turning up tomorrow. Starting to slightly get caught out by large numbers. That's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Hey Paul, how? Bedtime for you. Haha. Yep, no, you can just fall off to sleep wearing the headphones. Yeah, I think that's everything. Take that off. Put the chassis to the deck. 4:40 a.m. Yeah, Paul, that's that is a little late even for you. Hey, Hans from Canada. Yeah, it's got the typical dust on it. Nothing exceedingly notable. Let's plug our own MagSafe and Chipmunk and everything else in. Let's see, get some power. Can't help so I turn the power on. Okay, power is on. And Will Jacobs from the Cayman Islands. Neat. Lots of financial safety over there. No, can't plug in. No, oh geez, I'm being a Lewis drunk. There we go. Alright, so we've got fundamental power coming in, but we either have a dead SMC or we have... Yeah, anyway, let's probe around, see what we've got. So we're looking for 342 down here. And 345. That's running a little high. 8.1. Okay, so we're not getting SMC coming to life. Could be a couple of reasons for that. And we're definitely not getting any MagSafe, Sys1 wire or anything like that. Okay, Paul. Hope you have some interesting dreams. Hey, Dartom. Yes, China's just getting up and started. Well, they've had their lunch break now. It's start the real work. Okay, so we've had liquid around 342. And so we are running a little high, 345. That's definitely going to need to be reworked. At 345 could be pushing it outside of the boundaries of acceptable voltage range. think I might have to give this a brush. Bit of junk there, but I don't think that should be affecting things. We've got a couple of ants in here. Just brushing the board down. Just checking to see that we actually have proper connections over here. Yeah, sometimes we can have a dud connector, but doesn't look like it this time around. I don't think we've got a short because we are getting 8.1 or so, which does, it doesn't tend to imply a short. We're gonna have to start checking things like Orsys power good and stuff like that now. Make sure we get an AC okay. I will start probing around if I can't find anything that looks like a smoking gun. Hey Cody. Hey, is this? Yes, it is indeed daylight sorcery. Ach niemand, what's going on here? Okay. Better tell this person I'm streaming. And they're probably going to turn up any second. Hey Gavin Brown, good morning to you, early riser. This is one of those boards where there's enough sort of dust and light corrosion around that you really do feel like at some point you should see a smoking gun type fault, but sometimes it's not that case. However, I will probably start to check around those areas initially, particularly this 342 section. Jason, g'day. Did you just get my message, or did you just coincidentally turn up? This isn't one of yours yet, Jason. I'll probably do those tonight, maybe. Plus, I've got to do your panic ones first. Time to look at it. Edge on. Because a lot of the time you can get corrosion on those pins and you can't see it from above. You can only see it if you look at edge on. Like I said, I could be probing around with the multimeter looking for missing voltages, but the lazy man in me tries to do things visually before I go too much further. So it's mostly just dust and dust. It's nothing dramatically not in my favour. Dramatically faulty anywhere. Great. 5,000. Well, certainly the first thing I'm going to do is clean up this 342 area because it's marginal at best. That corrosion under there, it's bothering me a little bit. So we'll clean that up and see how it behaves after that, and if it's still not working, we'll then pursue the intellectual route. I'll just see if the diode's giving me decent readings either way. That's interesting. 2-1. Okay. Well, the diode seems intact. So we're going to remove the regulator. Let's see what else maybe needs changing. But like I said, that the voltage output was just a little bit high. I mean, 344 is about the upper limit on what I would accept. Anything higher than that may be indicative of an issue. Maybe, the feedback circuit is failing on that, something. We'll also remove that inductor. Oh, helps if you turn on the soldering station. I turn them off because many a time I start the morning with other jobs like phone repairs and things like that. Just screen replacements. So there's no point leaving the tips burning at 200 or whatever temperature they run at while I'm doing nothing with them. So I prefer to only turn them on when they're required. Okay, let's get ourselves a donor. Hopefully we can find one that actually has a... Nope, I was going to say has a viable 342 section. They're not exactly that common. Okay, that one looks a little bit better. A little bit. I suppose I should flux it up. Got to keep the AmTech business running. So yes, I do apologise. I've not been able to stream much lately, but like I said, there's been a tremendous uptick in workload, and unfortunately, the efficiency rate with regards to streaming is fairly low. I talk a lot. I get distracted. The actual success rates are generally a bit lower. Especially when you do dodgy stuff like that. That's not lined up properly, but I've got too much butter on those trays. No, I've got too much solder there, so it'll realign when I move the inductor. A little more flux. Not too much, just enough. Alright, so that's realigned properly now. Jeremy Clark. Dumb question. Does the flux help distribute the heat when removing parasites? Yes, it does a bit. It keeps things a little more even. I mean, it's not the primary function, obviously, but it does assist. Particularly if you're doing a BGA and it gets on, you want to get on the underside of it. Hey, Robert Schumacher. Oh, 6 skills, hello. Yeah, Palsamoth, that's pretty much how it goes. I'll be in the middle of something and someone says, hey, do you want to buy this? And I'm like, ooh, what do you got? What do you got? Oh, my wife is outside in the Daystar. What's she doing? Oh, she's entertaining the fur kids. Alright, see how we go. I'm not expecting any change, but I do at least want to see what that 342 is reading as now. Okay, so we still have the same undesirable behavior, which is not working. Let's see what our 342 is. 345, yeah, still definitely running on the high side. I'm gonna now change or test the value of the divider resistors, the feedback divider resistors. That's these two little chaps here, I'm pretty sure, or is it this one? No. Oh, anyway, there's a pair of resistors there, and they are used for making sure that we get the right voltage out of that regulator. This is a 165 board. I'm just going to bring the board using schematics into play. So these two here, they're quite important. So what I have found is that they can actually go down in resistance, which is very peculiar, but it does happen. Okay, so 795, it is those two. So we're going to rotate those two off their pads and measure them. Might just touch them up with a little bit of leaded solder to make them feel more at home. Makes it easier for me to rotate them off. Okay. I still do not know what the mechanism by which the resistors reduce in value. The more typical behavior that you get with resistors is that they will tend to rise in value. But for some reason in this circuit, there is a tendency for them to drop. Now, of course, heat will also make them change, because all resistors and capacitors, most parts have a temperature coefficient. Okay, 352, that's within spec. 200, that's also in spec. So I mean, 350. Okay, well let's work it out. 1% of 348 is going to be 3.48k. So if we go 348 plus another, say, let's call it 4k. So that should let us go up to 352, and therefore our resistor is within spec at 351. I'll still replace it anyway, just out of an abundance of caution. But yeah, the 1% is their tolerance. So the 200's good, the 352 is fractionally high. But like I said, it's not a big issue. But I'm still replacing it just simply because I'm being incredibly pedantic at this point. I'll remember that resistor, I think. Hey Kenny Whidden. That one looks fresh. Fresh as the day I took it off the board. Get some free flux. Oop, someone messaging me again. Ach, niemand, do not... Oh, the joy of tombstoning resistors. Where did it go? Normally I wouldn't care, but those resistors, you only get one for every board, and we've lost that one. Well, that's a pain. Oh, there it is there. It's a magic trick. Who would have thought I would be doing magic tricks? It's not a very impressive magic trick, but I'm sure you liked it. Now I'll just hand you over to my assistant, Debbie. That was quite the slide of tweezers then. I did not see that resistor slip up onto the tweezers. Would a thermal cam help in this instance? Not really at the moment, no. Because basically what we have here is probably a signal loss or a dead SMC. So I'm going to have to, after I see what this voltage is going to come out as, I'm going to have to start looking at things like, is SMCAC BCOK alright, is all good, all power sys good, things like that, see if they're all okay. Yeah, just basically go through the run. Hopefully we do not have a missing PM sleep S4L, but we should actually have MagSafe if that was the case anyway. Yep, pulling tombstone resistors out of my tweezers. Yeah, still no change, like I said, not unexpected, but it kind of helps if you measure voltage and not resistance. Thank God I've got a decent multimeter that doesn't blow up. Okay, so see now we're down at 343, so that resistor helped, but bring it into what I feel more comfortable with. But other than that, no change. Okay, I'm just going to see that we do have RTC 3v3. It shouldn't be involved in this fault, but I'm doing it anyway out of... Okay, that's not good. We should not be getting 342 there. We should be getting 3.3. What is going on? Okay, so what I was just measuring is this resistor here. Voltage here. And that really should be... Well, I've always thought it should be 3.3. But instead it's writing at 3.42. And... Maybe it's 342 at the moment because it's not powering up yet. I think we're just going to chase a rabbit hole of that after that. That may not be a real problem. We'll see when it comes up. Alright, so now it's time to go around and see if we can find things like all sys power good and such. I really do not think there's going to be shorts. Hey Miles, is this profitable for you? Yes, it is. This is definitely not a hobby. This is business. I actually don't really I don't really do electronics as a hobby as such. I mean, when it comes to, I utilize it to assist me in hobbies. Like if I'm doing model aircraft and I need a piece of equipment designed, then yeah, I'll do that. But overall, electronics is definitely more of a business. Repairs is more of a business for me. It's not something that I wake up in the morning and go, on a free day and go, oh boy, I can't wait to do this. I mean, some people do that, and that's great, but for me it is not. J6100 resistance, do you mean diode mode? And I'm presuming you mean the JTAG. I looked at the JTAG, it looks pretty clean at the moment. I'm going to just go through my normal route here. Essentially what I will do is I'll let's see. Well, we'll check to see what this chip is going to tell. See if if it thinks the power is okay, and so on and so forth. We may actually, I might pull the thermal camera out once this board's cooled down a bit, and we may see that the SMC is in fact grumbling. Hey, micro repairs. Miles, I find with this sort of work, it's definitely a case of the reason why MacBooks tend to get repaired a lot more is because they do have the high initial investment value in them. So a lot of people are going to want to retain that value and get it repaired. I typically find that okay, ACOK is pin 14 on this, by the way. Just got to find pin 14. Okay, it's this bottom one down here, bottom right. But yeah, the reason why people will get the MacBooks repaired is if you can keep the repair cost under about 1/3 of the purchase cost or the perceived value, then people will tend to go for it. Likewise iPhones, although most of the time for iPhones it tends to be more of a case of repairing for data unless it's a screen job. Okay. Do we have ACOK? We do have ACOK. I'm just going to now go and check. I might just bring up the quad display so you can sort of see what's going on. Sorry, no face cam today, I'm afraid. Okay, so we're looking for all sys power good here. Let's see if that gets us going. It's going to be pin 4. Okay, we do not have all sys power good. That is absent. So we look at what the prerequisites are. As in the things that are going to need to be present in order for this to be good. Let's see, 3v3S5 is on pin 6, which is down the middle. We do not have even 3v3S5, so I think that's a pretty big indicator. So we're not even getting the S5 rails. Just checking a couple of others. Oh, damn it. Sorry, my cable actually disconnected from the input. That's a little unusual. It'd be funny if that was... Nope, that's not the problem. Welcome first timer, catching up. What's the hot air and temperature and fan speed? Really depends on the task at hand. Oh, sorry, I just got to deal with the customer query here. Just telling them it's okay. The tricky thing also with the 1466, if you're tracing the one wire situation, is that a lot of those one wire components are present on the DC in board. So you can go looking for them on this, on the main board, and you won't be able to find them because, well, they're not there. Let's see. Right, pin 12 is what I was after. Second from the bottom. Okay, so we do have that. Just making sure that we actually did get 342 onto here. $1766. Got a lot of the prerequisites coming in. What do we say? SMC ACOKs? Oops. Yeah, ACOK. So as far as the ISL is concerned, everything is hunky-dory. So we're starting to look at the case where it may in fact be a .smc, which I really hope is not the case, but we'll pull out the gym cam, see if the gym cam gives any reports on what's going on. Hey Miles, hey Full Wave. Scamatox. Okay, we've got something burning up in the middle there. Where are you? It's not an area that I'm normally used to. Oh, I think that's actually a hole. Yep. It's not burning up. That's a hole in the board where the heat from... what do you call it? The keyboard area. Not the keyboard area. The heat from the mat is coming through. It's okay. We'll fix that doing this. Okay, and then we can see our ISL is heating up. But that's sort of normal. What we want to see is there anything going on up here? Is this going to be a rare case where it's only the ISL? That almost never happens anymore. That there is just a crystal, so it's not actually... it's a bit of a lie, as it were. Okay, so ISL's getting warm. Let's just flip the board over, see if anything else shows up. I just realised I really should check to see if the PCH or anything is dead. Where do you get your .35s from? I bought them from China. Yeah, that's why I bought the tube of 250,000 or whatever. Because I didn't want to have to do it again in a hurry. Now, well, ISL's the only thing popping up, so we're going to have to go back and have a look around there. It's interesting because it does say that it's happy with the power input. So maybe the SMC is trying to tell it to bump up voltage, but it's not. No. Fortunately, I can check the diode mode around all the pins on that ISL and see if anything is sufficiently out of whack. Okay, so quad display. So here we go, we've got all the diode modes for that ISL. Now obviously, diode mode, you've got to be very, how could you say, there's a big leeway. I would say don't get excited thinking you found a fault unless you're probably more than 30% out on the diode values. They aren't really that accurate for what we want. Okay, so 0.5, so that's fine. 0.7, that's fine. 0.5, nope. 3255. Yeah, that's all good. The other thing you have to watch out for is to make sure your I2C lines actually have matched pair of values. So it doesn't really matter too much what the value you measure is, as long as that both the clock and data lines are the same. 5, 4. Seven, 0, 7. 7, close to 0, yep. 7, yep. Alright, we may have something here, or it could just be me being completely useless. See, we're reading open, but that should actually have 0.615, so we've got a break there somewhere. Let's see, how about there? No. How about there? No. That's open as well. So these are current sense lines. Okay, what about that side? Open as well. Okay, we may have something here. I'll just check a couple more. So 0.6, 0.5, 0.6. Okay, yep, that's good. 0.5, yep. 5 and 130. Yep. Alright, so we're going to investigate. We'll switch over to resistance mode. I'm just going to switch into microscope. Now, I can't remember whether this is meant to be the 3 ohm or the 20 ohm one. 20 ohms. Okay, so we actually do have the loop resistance is correct, but the diode mode is not. Interesting. So maybe the ISL is damaged after all. I wonder what could have done that. The other one we have to look at is this one here. This is also the current sense, another one. Yeah, 349, so that's good. So it's interesting. We have a loop resistance there, but it looks like it's free floating. It's not running internally in the chip. What we can do quickly, just to see if I am not maybe losing my nut, and maybe there's bad data for the diode mode there. We're just going to test another board that I have. It may not be the exact same board, but it's going to be close enough. Are you still using the VikiV? No, I've got the GW Instech GDM 8341, which is considerably more expensive. The Viki I still like, though they have a USB model now, which I would suggest. Okay, so there, see we've got 0.6, 0.6, so that there is reading correct. So maybe we do have a damaged ISL after all. I am seriously considering getting another Viki, the new model, because I like to try it out, write the software for it, things like that. See how it goes. Because they're a fairly decent price, and the nice thing is they do have they have an exceptionally fast continuity mode, which is very useful. I did have the O1 bench meter, which was rebadged as Multicomp. Multicomp's just a all-encompassing brand. And I really was not happy with that. It's a cheap enough benchtop meter, it's like 300 Australian, but I had firmware issues with it where the voltage would underread or it just stopped reading at all. It wasn't a meter I could trust, and I'd rather have a meter that isn't as accurate or whatever overall. You need consistency more than you need precision or accuracy. Consistency is what matters for this sort of work. So it doesn't matter if I read a diode mode that's 10% out, so long as it's always going to be 10% out, as opposed to one day it's going to be perfect, the next day it's going to be not perfect. It's the inconsistencies that will wreck your ability to be able to diagnose. Yeah, Miles, definitely switching over to a bench meter does make things so much nicer. I mean, I do have portable meters, but I much prefer my bench meters when you're doing this kind of work all the time. Yeah, you just turn it on at the start of the day, and use it all day. It's always there. The nice thing is that with this bench meter I can also program it to change modes on request. Like I just press a couple of keys on the keyboard and it does a mode change. Whereas with a handheld meter you typically have to manually press the button or switch it or something like that. Which is not a massive problem, but I prefer not to have to do that. Hey Branches. Okay, now let's watch me do... I really do not enjoy QFN rework. Some people are very good at putting these back on. I am not one of those people. It's tolerable. I'll give it another heat just to try and make it swing back if it wants. This is usually the part where I wreck it. Okay, that's good. Let's see what those diode mode values are now. I just noticed that the multimeter's not showing up. Should be there. Oh yeah, it's there. I was just being dumb. Alright, so diode mode, like I said, we want 0.6 on each one. Okay, 0.42, 0.42, that's fine. The ISL is hot at the moment, the board's hot, so it's going to drive those values down. As it cools down, that will come up towards closer to 0.6. The next question is going to be how much damage was caused by that failure. Just cooling it off. Yeah, QFNs are basically a bit of a pain all around, particularly the ones with a large ground plane in it, because you've got to get the ground plane hot enough that everything becomes liquid, and if you've got the wrong amount of solder on the ground plane, on the center pad on the underneath, it will rock or float or drip. It's a pain. I'd sooner do BGAs. Okay, so here we go with this one. Like I said, I don't know what sort of secondary damage has been done. Pardon me. Still nothing. That's some unpleasant news. So probably took an ISL out. Not ISL, SMC. 343. 815, so yeah, we're still not waking up there. I'm kind of curious what could have killed that though. What's the green LED? It's just a basic power in LED. So you can see a bit of a hack job. And then there's a red one down there for when things are working properly. Is the fuse blown? Could it be? Don't beep. Son of a gun, it beeped. Yeah, that's a legitimate continuity beep too. I was kind of hoping that I'd been daft and measured the wrong side of the fuse. No such luck. Alright. Oh, where do we go? Oh, to renew, we apparently have to make an appointment. Oh no! Shit. Sorry. Don't mind me, I've just got to deal with this. I imagine they're going to need to take a blood test. You know what, they actually shouldn't need a full blood test. When can we get him in, question mark. Find out what tests they need to take from him. Full stop. I really do not want them to have to try and do a urine test again. Full stop. Maybe they just want to have a general checkup. Full stop. Yeah, I really, with Micro, he has anxiety-based diabetes, or stress-related diabetes, and I really don't want to have to put him through anything more than what he needs to go through. And taking him down to the vet, as you can imagine, is not a pleasant experience, and certainly vastly more if they have to do invasive tests or anything like that. I can't imagine they should have to, but then it's not always easy to tell what the particular vet is going to want to do on the day. So I do like to sort of get as much information as I can prior to taking him down. Because there's a thing they do in order to take a urine sample where they will actually put a needle through the abdomen, the lower part of the abdomen, and it's extremely distressing. We did that once and we never want to do that again. And then of course blood tests in general aren't that great, but we do tolerate them. But the urine sampling thing, that never again I want to see that happen. Not that way. That was just far too distressing. I feel like I'm missing something blatant around here. I said it's got me confused. What could cause the current circuitry to blow open like the sense on the ISL to pop open like that? I really need to check, see if the PCH is alive. I'm kind of glad that I at least requested the renewal of the prescription before. Oh, come on, Paul. It's kind of phased me, and now I'm feeling a bit twitchy and not aligned things properly here. Hey, 555. Alright, well, that looks pretty intact, thankfully. Middle of the day here. Yep, no dramas with that one. Really, yeah, there's spicks and specks of little corrosion bits like that around, and I'm just going to check the continuity of that filter. That's an essential filter going to the SMC. Yeah, there's a problem. No. The problem was Paul wasn't pressing hard enough on the tweeze. Is that cap dead? Yeah, now I'm just getting into the wishful thinking process. I better check SMC reset, see if it's not being pulled low. So Branches, you got a 2:30 appointment for the dentist, do you? What am I doing? Well, so like I said, we put a tremendous amount of effort into trying to keep micros, everything under control. But yeah, then when you get, we try to, we just do everything we can. And so tests and stuff really do raise general checkup and probably a blood test or ear blood. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, sweetie. No, it's okay.
I'm just kind of pissed because Micro, it's been 3 years that he's been on the insulin?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know if the policy's changed, but they can no longer give us the insulin unless he comes in every 6 months.
Every 6 months?
That's bullshit. I said it stresses him out to go to the vet,
and
it just sends his blood sugar high.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take him in every 6 months, but they said they can't give the insulin and they can't give us another script until he goes in.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know what's changed because it's been 3 years and suddenly now every 6 months he's got to go in, or else they can't give us the script.
No, might be worth getting. Jess might be able to give us some explanation behind.
She's away for 2 weeks.
Oh, great. Yeah. Who's handling it now?
I guess it's just one of the ones that we.
Yeah, that's great.
Since when has it had to be every 6 months?
Yeah.
We've been going on for
3 years.
So why suddenly every 6 months
Yeah.
they have to see him?
I could understand maybe every year.
Yeah, once a year, but every
6 months is way too frequent.
Like bullshit.
Yeah, something. So I hate the way that it's changing and stuff like that. Yeah.
She said by law, so I don't know if a law is.
Yeah, great. All right.
Every 6 months is bullshit.
Yeah, for humans, I get it, but yeah. All right. Well, yeah. If we can find out what tests they got to do.
She just said most likely just a general checkup, and if Jess feels that she wants to check his
blood sugar level.
But at this point, it'll probably just be a checkup, and fortunately because Jess knows us and trusts us, if we say he's doing well, she'll probably
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess I've got 2 weeks supply of insulin at least. So we can wait out for Jess to get back maybe. Because I think that'd be better for Micro too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I definitely feel more comfortable with Jess.
Yep, alright, okay. Yeah, that's like I said, he's been on the insulin for 3 years, and agreeably, we perhaps don't check his blood sugar level as frequently as we should, but in saying that, we are with him 24/7. We recognize his high blood sugar symptoms, and we can manage that and all sort of thing. So basically, we're just trying to avoid as many invasive procedures as we can with him. So I don't know what's going on there, but at least if we can get our normal vet, the one that actually originally was involved with us when we got the diagnosis, then hopefully it'll be a less painful process. Anyway, what a poultry, we've got 342s coming in there. What about this side? 342s. SMC is definitely getting power there. House of Moth. We're talking about Micro. He's the kitty in the avatar picture, the picture. He is the diabetic kitty. Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting I need to check SMC reset L. It's about the only thing I can think of that might be yanking this down. Because honestly, the SMC looks pretty good. Now I know that's not a definitive guide, but it's usually a pretty good indicator. Okay, so we're definitely not in reset. If that was low, it would be forcing the SMC to stay in reset mode, so it's not that. This is getting annoying. It's getting to the point where I am going to have to just do a blind Hail Mary sort of thing, and 200. Let's check the wake resistor. It should be the same as the reset, but yeah, that's fine. 311. It's a little bit of a drop actually. Okay, so what have we got on this side? 342, and we're dropping to 311, and that's actually a 300 milli, and that's a 1 meg resistor. That something is very wrong there. Basically, so we've got 342 here, and then we've got 311 here. That's not right. That should be 342 for all intents and purposes, because this is not a pin that should be asserting any sort of voltage. It's just simply in a read state. It just listens, as it were, for what's over here. And to get a 300 milli 300 millivolt, or is it 300? Yeah, 300 millivolt, 200 millivolt drop would require quite a bit of current to be flowing through that. So, yeah. I did have a look at an angle, yes. I was doing that before. Anyway, I'll now do a gym cam again, and I'm kind of... I think I can feel warmth in that SMC. God damn it, I don't want to do an SMC. Especially a 165, they're a bit of a rarity now. Let's see, above. Rarity in the sense of I don't have a copious number of 165 chips available. Well, it looks like ISL's still popping up. SMC is not really doing much. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like I'm missing something blatantly obvious. It's all very quiet on that side of the board. So I put my finger here. Well, what can I do? Looks like it'll be SMC swap time. That's a nice big fat waste of my time. I'll do CD3215s, yeah. I'm fine with those. They don't bother me. Helps when you got the stencils for them. You know, can I? Yeah, on that wake pin, I should have a diode mode of 0.74. Let's see if we've got that. Hey Wes, I do have a diode mode. Maybe it is asserting it in 0.31. That's all correct. Sys1 wire, that's this one over here, 7467. That's tolerable. 74. Okay, interesting. Sys1 wire kind of actually is. Let's see. Clock 67. This is really annoying me, this board. There's a bit of junk there, but it doesn't... It's just like a random bit of dust. Certainly doesn't look conductive and doesn't look like it's done anything. I'll check the diode mode on that ISL again too, just to make sure it hasn't blown again. Because if it's blown again, then we've got a bigger issue. It's blown again. Something has blown the ISL again. Alright, we do have a bigger issue at hand. Okay, how's the moth? I'm gonna put another ISL on there, and then I'm gonna check that it is 0.6. I can't remember, did we check that it was 0.6 after we replaced it again? Ah, Miles, great. Well, there you go. You might get to... We might find a solution. The only thing I can think of that would blow that input is a substantial overvoltage. That's a customer. They're dropping off a phone. It'll probably be an XS, or it could be an X. I don't really... I don't really trust people to know whether they've got an XS or an X. Yeah, that moved into place without me touching it. Alright, well, what we're going to do, since this one keeps blowing, we're going to have a look at where that goes and see if there's anything quirky. Okay, so we've got these two 10 ohm resistors and then this. And I'm really now unsure of what to think about this. Now, I don't know with this ISL, you know, this with the input sensing what its maximum range is. But to constantly be putting them open, now 7120, which one are you? Okay, you're that one there. I mean, nothing notably wrong there. There is a little line. Oh, polar bear. Oh,
That's...
Paula's.
Get her name.
It's okay. I know who she is. Yeah,
Yeah, she said she's been talking to you on message.
and it's an iPhone 10. Yeah.
She wants to know if, do you think this would be, you charge it but only lasts for like 10 minutes, would it be worth getting a new battery or not?
Can have a look at it. I'll have to get the exact pricing and everything. The downside is that there's a pretty good risk that the glass is going to break when we replace it, so we'll have to also charge for a new glass. It will probably be about 100 and nearly, it could be up to 200, so ask her if she's interested in that.
So, due to changing the battery, you also have to change the glass.
Yeah, the glass, most likely there. It could be up to 200, it may be cheap, but let's quote for 200. Alright, and yeah, in this case this is an iPhone 10, not an XS. XS has a stripe on it. Fortunately, they're the same price. Yeah, Mars, the SE one is getting fun now because of the 3 generations. Yeah, so the question is, what could cause that to do this popping of the input? So yeah, we're 5.7. Oh, that's right, I remember now. Yeah, we were saying it was rising up. And it seems to be the only... I'll rotate those two 10 ohm resistors off and make sure that they are in fact 10 ohms. Make sure that we don't have... look, I really don't think it's going to be what I'm going to try here, but at this point I'm just testing things. Because ideally, across those 2 points, you should only be getting millivolts of difference. Usually rarely more than 100 millivolts. Hey Jan Zimmy. Yeah, we're keeping busy. Anissa? Reading low ohms is fun. Okay, 10.2, that's... Yeah, that's pretty good. Dr. Oliver, good morning to you. I'm genuinely a little bit stumped here. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. That should be the same. Yeah, where could something be coming in to destroy that input section? Assuming it is actually via that it is being destroyed and not via something else that we've missed. I can't remember if I tested the diode modes on this side, so I better do that. Right now, this board has become a time waster. So 444, so 4 is all... No, diode mode, Paul, diode mode. This was supposed to be a quick job. Okay, 4-3, good enough. 4-3, good enough. 4-3, good enough. Okay, so they're consistent at least, which is good. One 4-8, 1-2-6, good enough. 1, 2. Yep. 0.6 and 0.7 we want. 0.6, yep. 0.7, yep. Alright, so that side's all good. Yeah, I'm really kind of wondering, maybe there's a problem with maybe the SMC is commanding the ISL to do something really dumb, like over voltage or something. 10 and 11. Well, in most cases they are fairly straightforward, but clearly not in this case. Okay, pins 10 and 11 down here, they are our I2C lines to the SMC. So we're going to check that they are balanced. Or, I shouldn't say balanced, but that they're the same. So 506. Okay, that's close enough. Definitely not a big issue there. Love to know what's killing them. I guess that's the challenge, isn't it? I might remove the fuse F7140 and see if it, this one here, and see if it still blows the ISL. I'm certainly thinking it's something secondary causing the ISLs to blow, as in the sense of we had some issues on the 342 circuit, which then caused something else to go out of spec, which then caused to come back and destroy the ISL. So it's probably going to be the SMC, but yeah. I'll just shove that there so that it doesn't get lost. And we'll reconnect those 10 ohms. Hey Lewis, do you wanna give me a free pass here, Lewis, and tell me why I would have a persistent 165 destroying the ISLs by blowing the current sense inputs, both of them, to open line from the 0.6 value that they should be. And I'm just about to try power it up without the fuse in place, just to see if it doesn't blow it. It's probably going to be a SMC that's dodgy. But it'd be nice to know why, rather than just blind. Yeah, it's dead. Everyone I put in there so far, I've only done one replacement. And it kills it the same way the original one was killed. I'm just cooling off the board using my proper turbo cooler, which is superior to the whatever your inferior cooler is. Top transistor on buck converter dead, sending 18 volts through the ISL 6259. That could be a possibility. Let's see, schematics. You're talking about the inrush limiter? I'm just kind of curious though that it will actually cause that to die, unless, you know, because you only should be getting a couple of millivolts. The other one, where's your board view and schematic? You're talking about 7130? Or are you talking about the one right at the actual very beginning of everything? Nope, not that one. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. No. Q7010 are you talking about? Q7130. Why are you drinking? I hope that you're on Twitch or something and showing off your manly pecs. Let's have a look, see if Drunken Rossman can actually outdo this. The only defects this board had was a bit of liquid damage on 342. 342 is running fractionally high, but it was still within spec. Alright, so Lewis is proposing I should check this, so let's do that. Let's see. Continuity, Asableaf. Charge. Oh, you were talking about that one, damn it. Yeah, you got me all distracted. Oh, really? Well, we don't seem to have any. That was momentary, probably just gate charge, network charge. Doesn't appear to be shorted. Well, I'm just going to power up, see if we blow that ISL again. If we do, we'll pull that. What the fuck am I measuring? What? What are you talking about so cheap? What the hell's cheap? Nope, still nothing. 18 milliamps. Not a madman. Honestly, you know, you think you know someone, they're friendly to you, and then what's this? They get on your live stream and they just start dishing out on you. It's almost like, okay, let's go 0. Yep, we're dead again. Alright, fine. Looks like Lewis won that argument. Don't like Lewis. Don't like people who win the arguments. Ugh. I hope you're happy with the amount of flux I'm using, sir. Hey, sweetie. Oh, what's this one?
Louise needs the speakers cleaned out.
Oh, right, okay, yep. We give a time for her to come back?
I just said you'd be in contact.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, we got a number or something? No, it doesn't matter. I'll get it through Facebook.
I figured that you'd been talking about
Yeah.
She said that you mentioned to try and make that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Thank you. Right, okay, so it's 2 phone jobs now. And, I didn't call you that, Lewis. I wouldn't dare call you that. Of course, one day I do want to grow up and have awesome arms like Lewis. Mine usually generally stay chicken sticks, as my darling wife calls them. Being a squash player, it never really developed thick arms, muscular arms. Everything was always twitch response type thing. But it seems with all the housework, the renovations and things like that, I'm going to have to become a slightly thicker person. I've got a gazebo to build, I've got more fencing to build, I've got tiles to rip up. There's a lot of work to be done here, both in and out of the workshop. As I said, I got another, I think it was about another 10 machines today and then another 12 tomorrow. So it kind of pains me that it's taken me this long to solve a 165. But unfortunately I didn't have any donors for this particular model. This is a 1.88. Come on. What is the... Jesus, Lewis. All those speed typing skills aren't helping you right now. By the way, this is the preferred Flux, the Amtech, the one that smells nice. It smells nice until you take it too far and then it doesn't smell nice. It in fact smells quite toxic, more toxic than the non-nice ones. But if you can keep it from smoking up too much, it's much better. I don't get a huge amount of smell, but I do need to improve the inlet for my extractor. Just to get a more optimal air consumption. Speed typing will not detoxify my blood. What did you have tonight? More Fireball or something else? Well, at least we didn't melt the connector, I'm happy. Tell you what, Lewis, if this fixes it, I'll give you a free copy of Flexboard View. How's that sound? Free copy of the very latest version of Flexboard View. And I'll get Paul S. to install it for you. So how's that? On-site customer service and everything. And you can tip him by paying him a decent wage. Hey, in your mirror? Ah, Everclear. Someone's living dangerously. Good thing I bought this reel of 100 ISLs. Hey, Randy Scott. Right, let's just install the ISL upside down and cause some aneurysms. I wouldn't do that. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. I gotta say, Lewis, I don't know how you can manage to... damn it, I've lost my tweezer positioning here. Yeah, I know you mock yourself for getting QFNs out of alignment and stuff, but you do have a envious ability to be able to tap down chips without them skewing off in distances. I don't know whether it's... I don't know how you do it. Because I remember when I was watching you and you'd just push the chip down and it wouldn't skate off as if it was on ice. And I thought, I'll do that. And that definitely is not how it went. Anyway, that one's aligned at least. Overcompensation. Well, it works. Alright folks, we get to see if Lewis gets to win a free copy of Flexboard View. Hey, gadgets clink. Still a bit hot. Lewis doesn't win a copy. Sorry, Lewis. Let's see if we're back to open circuit. Kind of a bit of a sad thing though, you know, you sort of... Oh, we're open again. Ah, that killed it, still, in spite of that. What is going on with this board? I am going to try and... I'm going to put a 3437 SMC on here because I haven't got any 165s handy at the moment. And worst case scenario, I can always reflash it up anyway. Let's see, where's my Grim Reaper? Here we go. Got the Grim Reaper. I think what the first thing I'll do is I'll take off the SMC. I'll then replace the ISL yet again. And then I'll see if it pops yet again. The trouble is it's happening so quick, it's instantaneous, and I just don't understand what it is. Times like this where you want a 20 probe logging gigahertz thingy-jiggy-wiggy connected up to each pin of the ISL, and then you can see what went crazy in those nanoseconds before it destroys itself. But overall, it's not really worth it. I mean, I've got a scope, a DSO, and that thing has got more dust on it than anything else. This is so barking up the wrong tree. Well, I tend to agree with you, Lewis, but I'm taking it off anyway. Because there was a pin that was being pulled down by the ISL, not the ISL, the SMC. And I want to see if it changes when the SMC is off. And reballing SMCs doesn't bother me. So I just want to see what the diode mode change is like. But I do tend to agree with you, it's probably barking up the wrong tree. But it's not going to stop me from trying this, just to see what's going on with that diode mode. I guess if I solve this for one person, it might... Well, Moles will be able to hopefully fix it after this. I am still curious as to why we're getting 342 there when we should be getting 3.3. Yeah, let me check the diode mode on that pin that was worrying me. I'm taking it off anyways, man, you don't know. Oh, it could be profitable for you, Lewis. Oh, gee. It'd be nice to have something other than Sweet Mercy. This is bugging the hell out of me. Is that cap? Hey, Kane. Oh, there's a bit of corrosion right there. Doubt it's going to be at fault, but what is that? U6101. That really just looks like not really something that is related to the situation. But make note of that. HS105 has got a little bit on it, but again, not really related to the situation that we've got. That's the problem, is that this is happening quite early in the process of powering up. I wonder if we've just got a shorted main board. Anyway, put a new ISL on there. See what goes pop yet again. $71.21 ANL. 71.22, 71.21. Let's have a look. See if an L is actually going to be useful. No, neither of those are shorted. That was one consideration, but no, they're both good. All the diode mode comes up fine on around the ISL. So like, we'll just double check again anyway, because you never know. Yeah. Let's do what professional shops do and just test every cap. That's meant to be because that's the input for the other current sense, and that's only 3 ohms. I've not been counting, Lewis. I just don't want to be a blind replacer. I want to at least know what I'm dealing with a little bit before I replace it. Ah, you are an obnoxious backseat repairer, aren't you? I will solve this board, Lewis, and then I will tell you. And you'll go, oh yeah, I knew that problem. I had that such and such a time. Sorry, I forgot to tell you I was drunk. There we go. Let's put it on wonky. I'm definitely not bean counting. You know what I should do is, I should put this under the infrared camera and see if we get an almighty bright spot for an instant, or whether it just simply fades out of existence. Hey Rob Brown, good to see you. Good to have some smart people in channel. Yeah, I just need some thermal insulation. Where are you? Come here. Come here, you piece of wood. Branches, that's up to you to identify as what you would like to be. Yeah, so that's our ISL right there. Let's make sure we get our alignment relatively good. That's good enough. That shiny spot, where is it? That's just a crystal. It'd be funny if my voltages were all wrong on my MagSafe. Alright, everybody watching? I'm about to connect. Let's see if we can see a great flash of nothing. And it just gets warm and that's it, yet again. 12 milliamps, what the fuck? As Dave Jones would say, Wah, wah, wah. This is going to be one of those I can't believe I didn't think of it type faults. Oh, shit. God damn you, Ubuntu. Ubuntu doing things I don't want it to do because it's Linux, and we all know that Linux kind of sucks. But I use it, just like I use Apple products. Yep, we are dead again. Alright. Thinking of things that can kill that input section so easily. Yeah. What do you want me to do, Lewis? You want me to take it to a nice place, give it dinner, say nice things to it, make it feel better about itself? And then when it still doesn't work, I'll scream at it and go, "You owe me! I was nice to you." Alright, what I'm going to do at this point is see if I can bring up the schematic for the ISL 62 and see if I can have a look at its structure. Sometimes they give you an internal structure of them. 6259 ISL 6259. Data sheet rather. Let me guess, we do not have an ISL 6259 data sheet. Perhaps if you go for a Harbour Bridge walk and dangle it over the edge. Yeah. What's the value of R7101? First I have to see what that is. That's the 4.7 one. That's a good point. That actually is an intelligent suggestion. Something I've been woefully absent lately. Am I reading the right thing there? Why do I get the feeling I'm not? That was not the right thing. My board view lied to me. Okay, there we go. Can it be? Something was said and it was right. Here it comes. No, 4.7 it is. Scrubby scrub time. I actually better get that phone screen replaced just now. So we'll have to take a moment, get the screen replaced. Yep. Gotta get that screen replaced before the customer comes back. Because this one's using up my brain power. iPhone 10. Soft OLED. Maybe I should stick to just doing phone replacements since I'm not so crash hot at doing board repairs. Nope, that's my phone. God damn it. Why do they always turn on when I don't want them to? For other people who do these phone repairs, are you finding that you get a number of these 1010Ss and the bottom screws are stripped out? Well, not stripped out, but they've lost the ability to actually be unscrewed due to the fact that someone else has been at them, and it's all just gone to hell. Okay, this I don't think has ever been removed. So I'm just going to warm it up a little. Oh, my own phone desperately needs a new screen anyway. I mean, look at that. I don't need a lot of heat here. Just enough so that I've got some flex when I do what I'm about to do. There we go. I don't want to damage this more than I have to because it is actually a functioning screen. So I like to keep them on hand for trading in if I have to. Not that I do that much, it's just so much excess work to fill out the form, count it, test it, all that sort of stuff, and you get, what, $10 back for it? It's not really that economical. I mean, fine, if you've got someone else at the workshop that doesn't have anything to do for the day, then they can earn their keep. Okay. I think I've got a box of about 50 or 60 of these sort of screens, and probably half of them are potentially able to be redone, but they're just going to go straight down to the recycling. Thank you. I should be like Jason Vilmer and just use this metal screwdriver. I know he's good at it, but it still never ceases to make me squirm a little inside. I don't know, I particularly love it when this adhesive gets stuck on the Face ID. Okay, to get that off, we just want a tiny smidge of heat Not a lot. There we go. I hate when people tear at it. It results in one torn cable. Okay, let's get the bloomin' what do you call it, True Tone off it. I had a phone come in today, and unfortunately it was a classic sort of mall kiosk job. They even left a screw embedded into the adhesive on the bottom corner, and they told the customer it was because the chassis was bent. And they didn't transfer True Tone. Oh, for goodness sake. Speaking of which, I'm having a bit of a nightmare getting the connector on. Sometimes the... Damn. Ah, there we go. Okay, that one's red. Man, they put so much money into the packaging on these fancy OLED screens. Bit of an overkill. I mean, what are you going to do with it afterwards? Toss it in the bin? It's a bit of a waste. Okay, now that one has True Tone, like it should. What is with this teeny tiny tri-wing screw up there? That is such a pain and gets lost so many times. The other thing, particularly on this particular one, the 10, is that itty bitty little bracket on that screw never gets reattached. Okay, what's holding you back? Okay, we're good. Some more heat. Miles, I don't really care if they use or don't use the True Tone, but I do like it as at least if it's transferred across. Agreeably, most people probably won't recognize the difference, but certainly with the guy the other one that I just did, his first comment was to me that, oh, they replaced the screen and it looked like crap afterwards. I was like, okay. I said, sounds like they lost the True Tone or something, and sure enough, they had. Okay, damn it, I picked up the metal bracket and still come get. Just because we're on YouTube, How is it that I never have trouble with this and I'm streaming it and all of a sudden something's jammed? I do tend to agree, True Tone does push it too far with regards to the warmness. Oh, fine, we're gonna have to just... I don't normally like to take that out, but I'm trying to work out what's going on here with this one. Oh, okay. I do have spares of these if I have to. I just generally try to utilize what's on hand in the phone. Let me cut my finger open because I'm cutting towards myself and not my chum. Oh great, that one doesn't even have the... I've noticed for some reason on the screens I've been getting, they put the mesh in but they don't put the bracket in. But the trouble is, if you try to migrate the bracket, it's not going to fit. Because it contains the mesh as an integral part of it. So that, that chafes my ethics. That is not a line, right, Paul? You need to redo that. Let me get, it says glass on the freaking... Yep, there is. See, the drunken commentator is still here. Yeah, glass all over that. We're going to have to clean that up too. And not damage it. That's going to be the fun part. I'll be able to separate it at the sticker point. Alright, that'll at least fit now. And it won't crack the person's new screen. That's the other common thing that you see, is when things get transferred and they leave bits of glass on those sensors or something, and they tighten it down, and of course it creates a weak point in the glass. And then just at the right time the person bumps the phone or the nightstand, goblins come along, and what do you know, next day you've got a call about the fact that the phone just spontaneously cracked. As you can tell, I'm not trying to be a speed demon with this sort of repair. I know if you go to a mall kiosk or whatever, they all quote like, oh yeah, it'll be 15 minutes and it'll be done. For me, I quote an hour, and I mean most of the times it's done in 15 minutes, but I quote the hour, and I charge somewhat accordingly as well. I'm definitely not a cheap phone repair, screen replacement person. I make a decent amount of money out of these ones. The only downside, of course, is that if all I did all day was replace phone screens, I would probably lose my head. Well, Ben Mars, you wouldn't have to pay for that because he's already making random, unbased comments. He's all lick it up and nowhere to go. Okay, that's good. Miles, that's a appropriate way to go. I mean, certainly when I was younger, much younger, back in the day, when I was much younger, you do have the inclination to go for bottom of the barrel race. You see your competitor, or the people who are already in the industry, and you think, you know what, they are ripping everybody off. I am going to start my own version of that business, and I'm going to be much cheaper, and everybody's going to come to me instead. And yeah, a lot of us definitely go through it. I know I did with a different business, not this one. And then eventually you start to realize that you actually are better off making a good amount of margin and just let the bottom of the barrel people burn themselves out. Oh my god, I can't see for shit right now. Time to get new glasses, Mr. Old Fogey Daniels. These glasses used to give me perfect focus at this distance that I'm at now. Now they do not. Now I've sort of got to back away a fair bit again. Crikey, the traffic's loud today. What's going on out there? Ah, dickheads. Richard craniums all around. Did I plug that battery back in? This is the real reason why I say now, because I'm an old fuddy-duddy and I forget dumb things. Yeah, I may have put the screws back in and it is connecting with the battery, but I'm almost certain that I did not plug that battery back in properly. So even though it's powering up, as soon as it has powered up, I'm shutting it back down, removing that plate and making sure I do the job properly. That said, I know that these sort of things happen to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Well, for instance, like the previous one where they left the screw in there. Rather than disassembling it, they're on a time crunch because they're bottom of the barrel chasers, and they're like, well, I've already used 10 minutes up on this, I'm going to get fired if I take any longer. So it's quicker to just say to the customer, you got a bent chassis, bro, nothing we can do about it, screen's all good, and shove them out the door. There's no short-term, real long penalty for those people though, because it does look like it was plugged in pretty good. There's enough fresh meat, as it were, that walk through their areas that it takes a while for them to suffer the repercussions of their choices, if ever, in fact. Try not to be dismayed by that. Like the number of times you might put a MacBook back together and you forget to put the fan shroud rubbers on or something like that. Like on a A200 1700, although they haven't built into the chassis. But anyway, the point is, there are times where you get to the end of a reassembly and then you realise you forgot to put some part in from right at the start of the assembly. And it's not critical, but then you wonder, you know, it's going to take me round trip of another 10 minutes to do all that, fix that up. Or I can just leave it and hope the customer never notices. I guess that's up to you as a business. Alright, well, that's working. Someone just messaged me. Screen placements on iPad Air Pro 11 inch. Oh, good God. iPad Air Pro, aren't they the ones with the like $400 replacement fused screen assemblies? What's that? That's not good. No, something's wrong with that screen. Did I not plug it in properly? What the hell is with doing live streams and fixing stuff that everything goes wrong? But that was definitely not a functioning touch. Yeah, I should blame it on the customer. If they complain, I'll just say, well, according to the Apple review, you're holding it wrong, or your fingers are insufficiently capacitive. I gotta say, one thing that can be a bit of a pain is that the supplier of your stock can also be a bit of the problem. Like, I go for the highest grade I can with the replacement parts, but even with those, every now and then you will get parts that have got bad connectors on them or something like that. And I know some people will say to me, you should test them before you put them in. It's like, that's not really feasible, given that most of the time they work. It's just infrequently they don't, and you just gotta have to wear that a couple of times that they don't work properly. As frustrating as it is, because they almost always happen at inopportune moments. Ah, damn, I need a fingernail. Oh, for God's sake, Paul. I need to be like a lady boy and actually have fingernails. It's not fat fingers, it's lack of fingernail. There we go. How dare you say I have fat fingers? Ah, that took longer than I needed. Borderline shonky, but okay. Seems fine there too. Seems a little pushed out. See how it's sort of like bulging in the middle? That one seems fine, but that one seems like it's bulging out in the middle for some reason. There's been a bit of force put there. But it shouldn't really cause problems because you do have contact both on the middle and on the outside of the connector. Okay, there's a bit of junk in there, but that is for the that's for the camera sensor and all that. Okay, we'll plug it in again, see if it misbehaves. Oh, Greg, right, you're talking about the touch. Okay, my bad. Overreacted there. I'm feeling sensitive. I've been attacked today. Should have plugged this in first. Okay. Actually, I just noticed there's some scratching going on over here. But again, that shouldn't affect touch. God damn. Okay, nope, that's plugged in secure. Probably should have tested. Well, I did know it worked fine with the basic stuff, but anyway, I'll test it again. Fortunately, I do have more stock of these screens, so it could just be a dud screen. Wouldn't be the first time. Definitely won't be the last. Yeah, no. That's cock. I mean, I know I've got gloves on and everything, but it's not normally that sensitive. You okay? I don't think it'd be a phone issue. Fortunately, with this particular client, they're very good at pre-informing me of any things that they've noticed. Yeah, funnily enough, this client is actually someone who has been with me maybe the last 10 years. From before I even did anything with Apple gear, for that matter. They actually originally had a computer that just drove me insane. It was a HP desktop. And on paper, it should have been a very good performer. But for some reason, there was just something about it. This is back in the day of Vista. There was something about it that it just did not run. No matter what I threw at it, it ran just terrible. Even changed over to an SSD after a few years, and it was still terrible. So I don't know, there was some issue with the chipset, I don't know what. And I thought maybe it was Vista. I mean, Vista didn't help, but no. Hey Defbomb, how's it going? Just waiting to see if this phone comes up alright. Obviously it's complaining because it's got no face stuff. Yeah, so it's just a effed screen, so I have to basically do everything again. Yay! Oh boy, my favorite thing. Anyway, at least it's a good demonstration of the fact that sometimes these things do happen, and like I said, usually in inopportune moments, you just have to, it's the cost of business. If you want to keep a good reputation, then you've got to do the right thing. Either that or already be rich. Alright, so I have to remigrate that bloody, what do you call it? True Tone again. God, what a pain in the ass. Hey CD. Yeah, Miles, I did, yeah. Yeah, that one's gonna go. Great. After I put that effort in to get the screw in the right place. Oh well. Your efforts in time and energy are not a guarantee for an outcome in your favor. They may improve your chances, but it's not a guarantee. Just like with dating. Hey TM Trader, how's it going over there in good old New Zealand? I'm waiting one day for someone from Playtech New Zealand to actually get on. That would be a bit of a life achievement. Or maybe someone from Viva La Dirt. Now that would be very, very interesting. You'd probably be Rowan though, telling me I'm doing a bad job and deducting my pay, and I'm like, I don't even work for you, and he's like, you gave me 50% of your pay. Those odds seem pretty damn legit to me. It sounds about right. Okay, hold that bracket. Done. Oh, I know why that one didn't work. I didn't mark it. Miles, it's pretty infrequent to be honest. I mean, I think maybe I get one out of every... I probably get I think it's about a 3% failure rate of screens, which is not too bad considering that in spite of the fact that they all say all screens are checked, it's like, you know they're not. By checked, what they really mean is that when they put it into the container to ship to you, it was still in one piece, or the box didn't look like it'd been thrown down the stairs. I do want to get over to your side of the ditch, TM. Go see some hobbits, talk to the elves, all that fantastic stuff. Avoid the volcanoes this time around. Jesus Christ, did I put that battery in? Did I put that battery in? Yeah, it would protrude up if it wasn't. I didn't, did I? I'm adamant I did not put that battery in. Yep, again. As we demonstrate how to remove the screws from an iPhone 10 for the 10th time. Watch how Mr. Daniels loses his mind as his anxiety dominates over his ability to think critically. It's plugged in. Most people, it manifests as worrying about leaving the stove on when they go downtown. Or did they leave the light on when they went on a holiday? But for technicians like Paul Daniels who stay at home, it manifests in many different weird ways. Did he sign off the email correctly? He hasn't heard from his friend in 2 days. Did he offend them? Maybe the meme he sent was inappropriate. Ah, the joys of anxiety. To be fair, with people, I don't really have those issues. Okay, there's one or two people I care about enough. But for most, it's like, whatever, I've got other things. Most, I don't mean that in a flippant way. I mean, it's a case of, I do have some very important people in my life, and they are the people that I will invest the energy into. I mean, as a youngster, I definitely worried way too much about other people. And then I was lucky enough that there was a certain point in growing up where I had one of those sort of epiphany transitions, and I was able to let that go, thankfully. Someone sent him a very strong coffee. Sounds good to me. Although I do have my own. least we know if fixing MacBooks doesn't work out, can always sign up as Dave Attenborough's replacement. Oh, no one can replace that chap. We live 35 k's from Hobbit Village. Oh, that is fantastic. Do you ever visit there, or is it sort of one of those things where it's basically strictly tourists only? And if you see any cars going that way, you go, tourists. Goddamn tourists. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. What is going on with this phone? Something is very wrong here. Because now I am not getting any touch. And that worked before. Oh dear God. Yeah, and now I've got zero touch whatsoever. Something is very funky here. Yeah, nothing. Oh my God. So I get confusing logic board combined with no shortage of mockery from the peanut gallery, and now I get an iPhone that is giving me hell. Now I know I definitely did not pinch down the cable, in case people are thinking, oh, maybe you pinched the cable when you closed it up. I mean, that is a very real potential thing, but in this instance that is not what has happened. You watch, I'll open it up and it's pinched. Time to go back to bed. It's definitely a long way from bed here at the moment. It's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What is going on? Do I have... I'm starting to wonder if maybe the impact has caused some sort of issues with the connector. Doesn't seem right though. I mean, yeah, it was an impact, but it doesn't seem like the sort of impact that could cause that level of damage. Connectors are firm. Definitely no pinching. One thing I've never bothered to check is which one of these flexes is the touch one. There's an itty bitty, but that's not a pinch, that's something else. Yeah, I will try off the bracket off just to see what we've got going on. Maybe a bit of compression issue. Can I just say that this is actually not a normal situation. I don't mean that in the sense of I'm trying to defend my ability to do these, but rather it is not normal to get... Okay, that's interesting. There's a little bit of a... You see that copper exposure there? See how it looks like it's... someone's filed it back or something? We used to shear sheep on the farm. They also have worked in Aussie shearing. Oh wow, whereabouts in Australia did you do your shearing? Or just all over, wherever the demand was? Okay, let's have a look at this damage in here. Now I know I have not created this damage because when I used the spudger, for me to do that damage I would have had to go in like that far, and the spudger's blunt and that looks more like a knife cut. Yeah, that's some serious frickin' damage, that is. but it shouldn't have caused any real issue, to be honest, because it's only removing just a protective. Wait, is that solder or is that something else? No. Let's try it with the bracket off. I mean, it's entirely possible that I've got two duds. I mean, they appear to have... Oh no, they're actually from different batches. Click. Click. I'll leave that off. Click. Wickerpin WA, Shewing by Maria. Well, I actually don't know that place. Sorry, TM Trader. I asked you for an answer on something and I actually don't know that place. Well, if it was Chef Ramsay, he would have probably said he's an idiot sandwich or something with two pieces of bread either side. Good luck solving the problem. Yeah. Thanks, Kay. Oh, this is... Well. Look at this. So that works. Maybe... Okay, we'll put the bracket back on, but not put the screen down, and see if it misbehaves then. The upside of this, of course, is that it demonstrates, you know, what it really is like most, many a time in business. It's not all like they have in edited videos. There's plenty of times when things just don't go right. Now, if it misbehaves when I tighten this bracket down, then I'm going to say there may be a split in the sandwich, a fracture in one of the sandwich balls. I don't know if that's the correct diagnosis. It's probably something I would go and ask people who actually know their... Wait, what's going on there? What's going on there? Yeah, I'd ask someone who knows their business, like Bill of A1 Mobile Repairs, or if Jason Vilmer's up early enough, I'll ask him. Just notice it's pinching this cable here slightly. So I'm just going to flex that out. And I've noticed that the bracket actually has a slight distortion on it. Okay, we'll avoid the pinch. Fortunately, at least when you do get a sandwich fracture problem on these phones, most of the time, if you just put it onto one of those little reheat units, wait till it comes up to temperature and give it a little tap, then they're usually good. Okay. Alright, so that's working now. Sheesh. Why do you do that, Paul? You have no business being in this business. Yep. I really do loathe and detest the auto raise function. Hey Tim, good to see you. Tim's sending me a sample of the paste. Which one are you sending, Tim? Are you sending the thick stuff or your new stuff for the normal general use? Because the thick stuff definitely, I can give that a whirl. I've still got heaps of tubes of my ceramic too, so I'm sticking to that for the foreseeable future. Alright, so this is now working as far as I can tell. I'll just do the figure of 8 slide on the main front screen, see if anything lets go. Blimey. Right, that was a process and a bit. Not happy about that. Once again, lost money due to excess time. But, on the upside, that is why I do charge a decent amount of money. Not because I'm trying to be greedy, but because, well actually yeah, I'm trying to be greedy. Oh my goodness, come on Paul, use your fingers properly. I plan for the fact that there are going to be these oddities. Okay, thank God, that one's done. Okay, iPhone 10 done, iPhone 11 done. What else? Oh yeah, I've got this next one I've got to do, which is an ear mesh fault. You're sending both tubes. Oh, alright, okay. Cool. Hopefully Does this mean I've got to make a favourable review now? By the way, Tim, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but I was asking you a question in private message because I was too embarrassed to ask in public about the 850s and a very frustrating cycling issue. Now, I don't know whether I don't think it's one of the GAY chips. The only thing I've got is my PV bus is oscillating a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit, but everything else is stable. Yeah, these people did not succeed in cleaning that out. They tried, but they did not succeed. But yeah, I get the dreaded trackpad click and nothing else. Yeah, someone's got some thick makeup or something on this one. Okay, we're getting some traction now. No wonder they weren't able to hear. It's definitely quite deep. I'm going to have to use the brushy tooth. Fine thermal is very sensitive for issues like this. What do you mean by that, Tim? Sorry, Tim, if I'm not interpreting what you're saying. You speak a smart language and I don't always keep up. I pretend to. But behind the scenes I'm madly rushing around on Google. Wow, what is this, iPhone 8? Honestly, it's almost like it's going to be quicker for me to just swap out that mesh outright. See a lot where it's just something totally random shorted. I actually really didn't get that many 850s until just recently, and all of a sudden I've got them all over the place. It's just starting to break through, but it's not good enough. Yeah, 20 volt trackpad, click no power, yeah. It cycles through, like it'll do the 20 volt for about a minute and then it crashes back out. And you get back to 0 and it starts the whole process again. By the way, I'm not using very much alcohol at all with this. It's like it looks like a lot, but that's just because it's just smearing everywhere. What I could really do with those, it would have been good if I got the... Hey, we're finally making a breakthrough. You can just start to see it down there at the bottom coming through. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the toothbrush onto the screen. It's just sort of like more riding on top. There's no point putting really a lot of pressure because it's a bit of a disservice to put pressure on it because it makes the bristles fold out to the side, whereas you actually want them to remain for the most part vertical. They will be able to hear out of that now, but I do wish I could see if I can log into it, get it to turn the volume right up. Gadgets Clink, it works very well for me 99.9% of the time. Most of the time I'll just do a screen replacement or whatever, but really it works quite well for me overall. Some people use blue tack. I don't know whether it's the Australian blue tack or what, or the stuff I've got, but it doesn't work as well. And of course, definitely do not use a compressed air source. That's a fine way of destroying microphones. Yeah, John, I'm not happy about it. Nearly 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Husband tried to clean out speakers with blue tack and metho. Did not work. Yeah. Let's see. Damn it. I need their passcode. Gadgets Clink, if you search on YouTube, I've actually already got a video for doing it. But hey, I mean, you can just tell me what your technique is. Yeah, I'll show you my video. Let's see, let's go to, yeah. Hey look, I'm live. Let's see, iPhone earpiece. Like everybody's doing it. There we go, there's mine. What have we got? 88,000 views. Anyway, yeah, it's got more comments on it, 196, more than most of my other videos. But hey, if you've got a different technique, certainly just let me know. Always curious. You got to remember also techniques. It is also circumstantial. There are some situations where one technique works superior to another. There's no truly universal technique for everything. But I think I'm going to have to ask for their what do you call it? Their passcode, so then I can moisten it, play something loud through the earpiece, and it'll just sort of help bring up that last little bit that's holding off. I mean, they will be able to hear out of that, but just not as good as I want. Otherwise, I'll just replace the mesh. So I really didn't want to do that, because if I replace the mesh, I'm going to have to charge them. Which is the best out of 5, 6, 7 iPhones? 6S Plus I quite like. I think the 8's pretty good too. The only thing is, I'm not overly keen on the whole glass back. I understand why they've got it, because they need to have inductive charging, and you can't do that when you've got a metal back. Alright, well listen, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I want to solve this, but it's maybe requiring me to sit down and have some alone time with myself. What I will do is I'll reball the SMC and put that back on once I can find my reballing rig. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'll ask Tim as well. I think it's a case of, though, I just need to look at the schematic and the board view alone. There are many a time where you sort of keep skipping over a possible reason and fix because you're busy using half your brain on the YouTube channel. So normally that's why I will do 1466s on live, because there's a pretty good chance that in most cases you can solve the 1466 without having to deep dive and really activate those brain cells. But this one is definitely making me have to go back, look at the way the power connections are, how they all come in, what could possibly cause that sort of behavior. It's a thinking one. And I'm happy enough to have that. But it's not always so easy to do that when you're conducting a chat as well. 7101 is good, yes. It was checked before. Well, I'm still gonna... Oh man, so many flippin' nasty fibers on there. Still gonna reball this SMC. So you may as well stick around for that. Just looking for any grey pads. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did get my CNC machine today, but I have to assemble it. Come on, what's going on here? And we will be doing a ball replacement here, not a paste replacement. So if you're hoping that you'd get to see a paste job, it's not happening. Use toothbrush for that one. There's just a little bit too much flux in there. Flux welling up in that area can cause troubles with the reflow. Alright, so we just get a little dab of flux, grab one of these Lost Boys. Have one, two. Okay. Looks like I've still got just enough 0.35s. Okay. Need some alcohol. There we go. Took a little longer than I liked. I think it should be around about enough. You are just going to be just short by a few. It's just that kind of day today, I think. Where no matter what I try to do, it's going to go the long way. Yep, this one's going to go the long way. Frickin' heck. No. Good God, why do I have to run out of alcohol now? Let's try that again. And hopefully this time I actually did add enough. Well, that certainly looks more like it. one excess down here. Oh, is there one in there, or is... Yep, there's one in there. Just seems a bit damaged. Okay. This is going to be a very slow process. Feels like that one should be... Oh, it's just hanging off the edge. Okay, cool. You can stick around. I am aware that there is no flux there at the moment. That is in fact intentional. We are now coming up to the point where it's almost ready to receive the flux. The flux has been received, and now we carry on with the heating. And there we go. Okay, we got one jumper, but it's gone back in. But other than that, seems like they've all bonded down. Okay, we got one that didn't make it. But that's certainly not a problem at all. We'll just put a spare on there. As soon as I can just grab one. Yeah, that one will do. It's not sitting down properly. I can't touch them. I have to wait until they separate before, till they solidify. Otherwise it will merge them. For some reason some reason it didn't like that one. Oh my goodness, trying to get that off. Try that again. There we go. That's more like it. Hey, Jim Hook. Yeah, so one reballed SMC. I'm going to leave this SMC off until such time that I find the cause of the ISL failures. Someone may notice, some steely-eyed people may notice that we have an oversize here. Fix that up. There's a couple of ways you can get those off. You can touch it with the soldering iron tip. That's one way. I sort of like to do a combination, because I find the soldering iron tip alone doesn't always absorb it. Good job, Paul. If I didn't have my little spasm then, it would have been... Oh man. This is why you shouldn't dig these things out of the depths of hell. This is why you should ultrasonic your boards periodically. That's one down. Two. Gutter balls, yes, that's a good 10-pin analogy. And that, this A1466 has become a real 7-2 split. Anyway, as I said, we're going to finish up now, but I'm going to leave the SMC off that board until such time I can find out what's going on with these ISLs, and if I do find the cause and a subsequent solution, then I will leave that in the comments here. If you've got a theory on why the ISLs continue to get destroyed, all in the same way, all on the current sense port, let me know. I'll have a test, try something out, if you can come up with something before I do. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to get some food, some coffee, important things in life, catch up on emails, which I'm sure there's plenty of people ranting at the moment that I have not responded in the last 30 minutes. So I'll catch you all later. Until next time, you'll take care. See ya.